can tell you that many times, many programs do stuff that is not the standard with hotkeys, which is what you are kind of like referring to. There are some hotkeys that you usually use that for whatever reason, some other program did something with them that is not what is usually done. And that causes a lot of confusion. It is very hard for us to figure those out. Actually, Joe, the issue that you were having is very similar to this. Just imagine those issues that they happen from time to time, and they happen on a hotkey. Like, it's so hard to figure out which program is doing that.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I was telling him earlier. But also, Ray, I mean, I used AI, but AI says Vivaldi does not have a default one. Maybe you assigned it at one point, and then you thought that was the normal. But or maybe AI is wrong, right? We all know that could be.
AI in Vivaldi, AI is already assigned to select all command.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
AI?
No, sorry. Control+A.
Okay.
Control+A is
Yeah.
in Vivaldi is already assigned to select all.
Let me clarify something there. All right. I don't think that is in Vivaldi. All right.
Yeah.
For example, Control+C, Control+B, Control+A are hotkeys that they are probably being set by the operating system, not the tool. So the operating system does it in a way that whenever you press Control+A, it sends a message to the tool, and the tool decides what to do with it. So the operating system says, hey, this thing was pressed. And the tool says, which one? Oh, Control+A. Oh, whenever I see that, I should do this thing. And usually, most programs that I know, like 90% of them, if not more, whenever they receive Control+A, what they do is that they select all. That doesn't mean that every single program has to do that. Certain programs, you press Control+A and they do something else because of the context of whatever they're doing.
Well, and to your, so Isaias, back in your toolkit, I assume Control+A, I'm sure I've done it, right? Selects all, right? But you had to write that, right? That wasn't,
yes.
Yeah. However, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't have a hotkey like Control+Shift+Arrow up to move a line up. Is that right?
Right. You have to create that.
Right. So that's what we're creating in our version. Because and the commenting out too, right? We're like, hey, there are some really default hotkeys that are really, really helpful in an editor that we should have in. So we're going to bind those hotkeys to it.
Excuse me.
So is there a hierarchy for these shortcut keys? Like, first of all, there's the operating system. That's the top.
Well, that's, low-key, that's a great question. Like, we have been asked many times. We have been asked many times, can we create a program that lets me know which program has which hotkey set? And no, that's not a thing that we could easily do without a hotkey, because the one that has that information is the operating system. The operating system, Windows, is the one who has a list of which key goes to which program, but they don't allow access to that list. You cannot see it. There is no way for us to know. And there's a lot of situations in which I could, that's a very, I reacted the same way. Like, why wouldn't that be available, right? No, there is no way to look at the registered hotkeys, at least that I know of. And if there is one, it's not simple. It is so much so that if you go on Google, you can ask AI to search, hey, is there a way to know which registry keys are bound to which programs? And you will find a lot of people asking the same question in places like Stack Overflow or, the AutoHotkey forums, and nobody can answer the question. There is no answer to that question. So no, at the moment, there is no way to do what you're asking, Ray. Like, Can I just take a look at Ctrl+W and see which program is actually using it? No, we can't. And I remember, I don't know, some of you, I don't know who was it. I don't know if it was you, Connie, or somebody who you found a tool online that claimed to do that. And we tested it, or it was you, Joe. I don't know who was it. And I put it on my computer, I ran it. And what it does is that it hijacks all the hotkeys, it grabs them all, and then does something. And when I ran it the first time, everything, my computer went crazy because it was pressing every single one of the keys and looking up which tool was coming up. So it was pressing Windows Shift W. And if a window came up, it would grab the name of the window and say, oh, this program is doing that. Which, not exactly how it works, but okay. You know, it was really crazy when I ran that. That was very crazy for me.
It was terrible. Yeah. And there was another one too that didn't work.
Well, okay, so there's one that tells you it'll list the hotkeys that have been assigned, but to your point, Isaias, it doesn't tell you the program.
Exactly.
And I wrote a new version of your lookup tool, and there's in the Hebrew group, there's a link to it. I can't remember the name of it. I'm looking for it now. But it will show all the hotkeys that are currently running. It just does not tell you which program.
Yeah,
but
which is what I said.
It would have addressed Ray's problem, is that it was a AutoHotkey script that was causing the problem because it was defining it.
This could be
if you go and look for it,
a good project for the automator folks. How make us a utility that runs in the background and watches for key presses, and then also watches for window changes or program events, and then tries to correlate the two.
Well,
guessing which.
I was just gonna say partly the other tool did that, but the reason why that doesn't work, let me show you this, Stephen. Like, that's basically an idea, but here, this tool, the AutoHotkey Toolkit, when I press Shift Win N, it opens Ant Renamer. If you follow that, whenever I press Shift Win N and you capture this name, you will tell me, oh, Ant Renamer is the one that is using this hotkey, and that's simply not true. The hotkey who said it really was the AutoHotkey Toolkit. The end goal of that hotkey is opening this particular tool, but that doesn't mean that this tool is the one having the hotkey. Does that make sense? So following just the window name might be very misleading in certain situations. So that's the reason why I wouldn't go exactly that route. We can tell which hotkeys are in use. I can tell you that. Now, which window actually registered it? That's the question. Who registered the hotkey? Unless, as the operating system is booting up, if there's a way for me to, as the operating system boots up, kind of like capture every time a hotkey is registered and capture who did it, I don't see any other way of doing that. I don't know. And for example, the Process Explorer program has a way of capturing the boot load to capture everything that happened when your computer loaded, right? I guess it might be possible to create something like that, that when the computer starts, I could capture and see every time the register hotkey function gets called, who called that function. There might be a way, but I cannot really tell you, oh, it's easy to do. I don't think so. That is so hard that people way smarter than me and everybody else in here, like way smarter, they are like, yeah, no, you cannot do that. And I'm like, okay.
What about process monitor? Would that help?
Again, process monitor, for example, it monitors the processes right now, but the hotkeys were set when the computer started. So you have to monitor the start of the computer.
But I think Process Monitor has a setting that will do that.
Yes, exactly. But I don't know if Process Monitor can tell you who hotkey what. There it is. This is one of the Nearsoft. So this is what I mean. Like, this is possible. I can tell you which hotkey has been set. What I cannot tell you is who set it. And that's the information. I don't know, Stephen, if you were relating to that specifically, but there is software to tell you, look, this hotkey has been taken. Now, who took it? Like Control Windows key F21. Who took that? I don't know.
I wrote Nearsoft and said I'd be willing to pay to help develop, if they could map it back to a program, but they never replied. But yeah, this is this hotkeys list is I'll put the link in the.
Well, the operating system obviously knows.
Yes. Well, no, that's the funny thing. I don't think it knows. I think the operating system, after it registers the hotkey, it puts a hotkey and a certain type of action or thing or trigger, right? But it doesn't save the information about who created it. I don't think so. And that's the reason why it's so hard. Because that information is not there. That's why. Unless you get in the middle of the program and the operating system, and every time a program tries to register a hotkey, you record it. I don't think that information is anywhere at the moment. I'll grab during the weekend, I will try having an AI session if I have power and just ask it if there's a way to do that, or if there's, because there might be a way for me to get in the middle of the operating system and the registration function and just record who is recording what, but as of yet, I don't know of any tools that do that. You can tell which hotkeys are registered, but you cannot tell who did it.
And that information's not in the registrar?
The registry, no. As far as I understand, no.
I'd be surprised.
I'm so surprised.
It is very surprising. The information that is on the registry is this hotkey performs this action. Yes, you can get. So the hotkey and the trigger, but the information about who set it, who was the person, who was the program that registered that hotkey, I don't think that's in the registry at the moment.
Okay, forgetting about the operating system, is there a hierarchy for grabbing hotkeys by programs? Like, is it first program that's run grabs that hotkey, and then later programs can't use that hotkey?
It's a little more complicated than that, I think, but yeah.
Yeah.
So usually, like with AutoHotkey, your last one run takes over, right? But then you also have to factor in, well, what if the scripts run as an admin? I'm sure that actually would supersede the other one, right? As I would assume.
The last one. So
yeah.
So if AutoHotkey 1 grabs it, and then AutoHotkey 2 comes and wants to grab it, AutoHotkey 2 will take precedent?
Yes.
Huh.
But that's the problem with everything.
Well, but that was what was so, I think that was last week, actually, when we were testing the hot strings. And surprisingly, within a script, the first instance of your hot string takes precedent. The second one or third, because you can have duplicate hot strings, they get discarded.
My context window is full.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, so don't worry, Ray. That the bottom line is, I think I understand where you're going with that question. It's just right now, specifically with Windows, it is a dead end. You can get part.
It's a mystery, like a
right. You can get part of the information, but you cannot get all the way there. You can tell that a hotkey has been assigned. You usually can tell what the hotkey does, but you cannot tell who actually registered that or when. Because basically, as they were explaining, if I already have F1 set up for my program. And then with AutoHotkey, I register F1 for something else. Now the one that is valid is the AutoHotkey one, not the previous one. So AutoHotkey kind of like replaced that. So any information you are having right now about which hotkeys are set up are only valid for that specific moment in time, because later on, another program might change that, like at any point. So yes.
Wow, that is so not what I would have expected.